55 Songish poems written through L.T. Zupan, read by L.T. Zupan. Circuit C. Thu. Number 29. More has to be done before more has to be done. Dash, dash, dash. Belfrispeiler. You again. The 199 milligrams of mild sweet Mother Mary codeine overtakes the medium level strength lager, overtaking the opiating why don't you just turn me into a flower and be done with your found repose. Dash dash. Blue light back on. The white light that follows grindingless, colorless noise midst. Why don't you just keep it on? Dash dash. Falsing router. It makes shapes as it travels along. The 1936 film Dracula's Daughter will be back up and running smooth again soon, though, so don't you worry. I'm just 49% in, is all, it's all. So yeah, I begin. Dash dash. Purpose quired. I've melted a knapsack. Face. Positively trotty and jumpy a little, just because of her. I'm just so happy now. Number 30. It goes long. Dash dash dash. And through. Sometimes I like to think about it all. Cinematic topic shift. I appreciate creating this because it helps me remember. Through all the bumbly complaints and aged statuses whine quo we. How dreamy I've been, how it will never end, how my friends have seen it all along, your sere face, not knowing any of them though and through. It's very different way over here. Home of beaten to the best poetry. They're like me, they knew they would keep it through and through. Number 31. She's free. Dash dash dash. I don't think there is anything I don't have the mildly arrogant, unedited answer for. I do think the best feelings do and don't just wash away. Yes. And wait for it later. Stereotypical sub-bar notes and march. The light blue is creeping back up now. She is my little turtle away. My body moves now like a slow practiced cyclone. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, my cigarettes are soft. Number 32. Walkabout. Dash dash dash. Preamble. Ticking, sweeping like devil's night in a good way. Dash dash. Me Kuan Ying circling. And because I'm seeing the ones I used to know, never knowing that they don't even know what they will miss out to never see, it doesn't make me lonely anymore. The things they'll never see. The things they will never see. Like the forest green sawed-off chair wax legs bearing the brunt of Stubbs' wearings. The smaller motorbike repairman's not out today, and thoughtful. I'm just happy because tonight she wants to see another one of my crazy movies. Try and save it all. Incapsule, soluble, imposable. Dash dash. But wait before. If Uyen has floated to 1 kilometer from her previous sweetest perimeter metric, or the Nabor Trust, Thundols, the White Horses, Over Amber, Cabbage Hill Knots, dash dash. Your shock is so usually new to you, more than old to me, old to me. In this context, it comes across slippery, as anger-ready tool, wedging your curiosity through. I've seen it 3 or 4,000 times, but she keeps me turning, over and over again, fresh in my 100% Concord grave. Happy. Dash dash. Ladies is breakfast slinging it. Her family's daily to life from the one lily pad to the next. And swamps. Dash dash. I'm slowly peeling it all back off. The luminous egg bulb flows light, remembranding my childly walk back home through her unguarding blossom gardenry, for the sake of itself, called art. And I find my way back to her shop. She said, "How was your walkabout?" Number 33. Gingerly and vegetarianally, seriously, tilling the baby surgery tardigrade fields, dash dash dash, aka the state of real. 11 tracks in the sands of die. 0001. The potent perks of hearty bundles of leads and listings harvested from your farm area by the fucking bushel. 0002. If you haven't built a radiant and ironclad brand of being a thought leader in real estate, and that is not your clear core message, then you are merely left peddling the same thing as your unending supply of competitors. 0003. Buy the truckloads, your custom paper, sent to glacial quantities of homeowners consistently like a steady growing downpour. 0004. Historically, economists are comically inaccurate when touting their scary recession admonitions. As magnetic and believable as that rhetoric can be, it's always best to look at the fucking hard data. 0005. Most agents, of course, can do comparative market analyses in their sleeping, with one smartphone tied behind their goddamned back. 0006. When endeavoring to offer a thorough value proposition, one should include what cannot be accomplished by these fucking tiny little upstart internet robot agents. 0007. So, he dragged his somewhat baffled kids out to a greasy, inky printing warehouses and throughout the Tri-County area for some real life experience. 0008. An unstoppable snowball effect of an exponentially mushrooming client base, paired with kinetic word-of-mouth, widespread recherche reputations, you fucking fledgling ass shape. 0009. Prominent effectual prospecting represents crucial stones in the goddamning real estate marketing mural. Yet, like a broad berth or narrow strataband, you can comment on my ass book shape of you. 000A. Another set of splendiferous items to be sure to stow neatly into your prospecting toolbox are prospecting letter templates. That is, if you fucking want to be garnering an overwhelming, cyclonic, relentless barrage of winning results for so many, you're fucking welcome, etc. Number 34. Belgrade, not necessarily the city, dash dash dash. Multiple reachings of 33 plot twistings of cups and cards, No mockery ever intended. Hardly ever, if I can help it, my old friends. No presidents on the chessboard, just pawns and kings. Still I serve prawn soup to my queen. Campfires and a lissidouche ishness. A perfect 6 out of 6. And marry ex-wife miss. Forget the certificate. My enemies have all become soft and hidden, to tease my fuel to them, like those studded hairbrush prongs. Still I made it out to Vietnam, 38. How DeFarco will I go? Number 35. More glow, dash, dash, dash. What a concept, not giving up. Me and her have made it more. Left all the problem maker majority of the West, and I even managed to never really get dragged down to the lower levels, except once, more or less only, now, where I will say, you want to end something too short and abrupt it too? Okay, fine. Poem over. Number 36. Don't not trank the tranny trainee, period. Dash, 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 period, dash, dash, boogity, dash, dash, depth. And I waited for the next good word to come rolling around. Expurgle, precipitous, lish, somewhat see, homie, that taught well. It's sometimes kind of like that even dimensions themselves have amusement parks worth of species. Okay? Now goddamn, I just love my habersacks girlfriend. Seriously though, I really do. Dash dash. Truculent, succulent upon, dash dash. And fair somebody else? Fuck your stupid, unconsciously seeking advice on how to solve your need for prospects. Whilst Fizz Bowen, bloggy snail development of what doubtfully will lead you to enough wherewithal to regrow some fucking principles. Stop wasting my time. Number 37. Commentary don't save you, main. Sublimed. You already has new. Dash dash dash. Pitch into the depth of rapport, bundling ripples back up to us, because she likes the sound of it. Decadic peace, all wintering and twisting my stems along the salted rubble. Just grip a shouldered fear with a speed similar to poetic activity. Or was it art? This shiny, sunny day? Or will it? Die now, please. Number 38. Hard missed point work. Dash dash dash. Pull the plug. Because the hospital is dying. Don't be too automatic. Dash dash. Oh, and my sepal, stamen, ramen, calyx, flower, tunnel, bunkfuck, languageologist crash. This political sex party tonight with some folded. What I never wanted to grow to be. Excuse me, it has always been possible to rob a plane with a goddamn protractor, blouse, jumper, termite tuck. Tear mighty, forget about it. Number 39. A positive sigh. Dash dash dash. Yes, it is definitely something. Worth protecting within the best of my capacities. It's amazing how comfortable she makes me feel. And I've analyzed it top to bottom. Her bottom. Anyways. Dash dash. The difference between us in physical stature mirrors the buffered thresholding keeping us. Oh, it works. How beautiful and relieving that it does. Time's ticking on, so by and slow, for us. Satisfyingly drawn. Dash dash. Day to day, life with her, it's like being high on the most sensible of drugs. Like I dove, punctured through the bead of a droplet, and nestled up to find the perfect position to relax with and in. She's my best friend, and we understand. Dash dash. Snuggle in, my love, it's cozy in my awareness these days. Despite all the strength I now have to fling away at my grievances, I keep the catapult strategically positioned for her paraphoria to get off upon. Come in, my love. It's warm, dank, heartily affordable frosted out Cheerios and my temptation Sacherual cherry suck. The measure has unburdened its secret gecko call. Dash dash. Soppy French butter is going to merge adjunct years upon itself. Number 40. Go fast. Awful. Dash dash dash. Go fast. Awful. If cigarette ash and charcoal ash, blended together in proportion amounts, are even your real shame, go fast. Poppity. Spop. Bicarbonate. Bilocationular. Binoculate. Baby my. Go. Fash. 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 Dash dash. Reminding me beyond my sea hen, the sicklying scene, unavoidable snaps and grips, treeing, so hot and stingy. Oh wait, I'd rather stray away from parasitic topic distraction fast. So hot and stingy, fast. Broken creatures fast balling a scabby red translucence, fruitive, careen apocalyptic, fentive nature, solo ain, elan, so hot and stingy fast. Dash dash, so hot and stingy. I remember when I used to have little to no awareness and vision, as I delighted in the illusory feeling of rightness, which came as I went, closer to old fire. And I see most of it as tragic. These past 3 decades I do now. Strip that away to boil, and it is a screamingly restless burn, and a gunshots to a nothing of after-portrait, splattered and meek, as volumulate in divine sweet guilt as estable the causeway's start shape. Finally somewhere new that I already knew, for no reason obviously. I am sorry for it. Number 41. Our new sex number 8. Dash dash dash. The future bled me back, rift and sift, qualificatedly. She has the perfect little smallest togetherness, shrewd, robust, soft. I can say it better than compact dapple. Oh, just because of her. I never imagined the quality of the basked-in light of my integrated final frontier of hope, desire, and fantasy, let alone what will happen now after. But yup, here it is, staring at me, in the face. Dash dash. Oh, don't get me started, girl. Aw, who am I kidding? The subject I set to write here is way too hot for a fucking poem. Number 42. Comma and don't hold or give me any mild bother sauce, please, to dash dash dash. And, of course, always imperfect expression of. The interest first of n, some kind of clarity about the solution tail or and problem body. Seen oft as blankety layers obfuscating like memory as it hums its form. Quickly remembering then the holes and the disinterest. But there again, you've then do got the moments where something of a pure place, space or lace, with its begging to describe itself, dash dash. Homeostatic, A. Problem, B. And the hopes of completed solution before A. So does it occasionally matter that I relatively suffer trying to clear this matter up? Or that I can't commune with anyone in the verbal flesh, flesh about it. No, I'm in love. No, I'm in love. Circuit D. Dong. Number 43. The 5th season. Dash, dash, dash. Dried up post reaffiniating itself after my old dead and gone. Dried up host, tower hold, strong enough I go, as that it ceases to question itself. Number 44. There are things that are bigger than angles. Dash, dash, dash. They have a way about them. Additived, true, erythrobutanol. Just no explaining what it is of its does self, while it's happening faster than itself. Cup. Cake. Genius perfect. Dove. Sack. Sprinkle. Baby toe pad skin gentleness feelings. Arranged, I thought, as professor with texture meant as tenure. Prince Muni. There are things that are bigger than angles. Number 45. None so studiental. Dash, dash, dash. None so. I heard them clink away and tundling the eastern saucer's hour of my peace. Full-hearted, I strode through the blue of careful night, breezing on empty, close to the brink, composed of what is always resisted, so carefully chasing us, so as to wind up prey and predator, both casually walking their dance, dangerously close to lazy, in fact. I already said bled back. Number 46. Flow seam and jant seam. Dash, dash, dash. The whack stat sat on the beltway. Tat. Okay, checking. Lou. Well, they changed the criteria for a noun lately. Again. And nobody looked the other way. And just what is a nobody, you rhetorical asshole? See, I'm arrived at shack with speed pocket watches. These dear dash dash walk comin'. Or maybe I'm just left something out. Misery is not a puzzle. Anxious people hooping their instincts invoked. Treadmill case. Basket. Yes, I am, for the last time being, a stupid-ass miniature pickaxe, shining up the unfinishable. Bid Nez console dash. Dash dash. Number 47. The progression of drunken progression. Cleave ear, Dash, dash, dash. Only an hour do I have left before the clock itself spirals into the fucking ground, and I stylistically do something cool, at least. Threatening, provoking, intoxicating, calling, struck lick, A breaking point flash into my lightning rod journal. Forever cracked and crumbled open disintegration. You read it like a neutral, if not positive, hourglass is a bad thing. Relatively, alcohol is not that exciting, perhaps anymore. Dash dash. And my God, man, I'm so overwhelmed happy lately days. I've come to have her so little flour on me, instead of the burnt dust memories. When I was relegated to the task of rearranging the cultural maze walls in order to escape by retretion of cliché marrow follicle automore. Sistine steps to the crow squawk, calculanometry, Poe heart, dream static, lifeblood. Jaunt now, please draw it out, please. One stanza in the magnetic stripe of the card. Next stripe. Number 48. Koth. Dash dash dash. She is the beauty of it all. I'm afraid they are going to kill me. She is the mother of it all. I am afraid of nothing. Nusty. Dash dash. The ink flows out of this pen delicately when you hear it, just pressed so lightly. The real tribe's real fucking small. And naturally, when a certain nature surrounds, we are, by nature, reclusive. The poem is supposed to end now. Please, just let me sleep. Number 49. I, myself, along with small to medium amounts of everything else, is my own comfort. Dash dash dash. Insulting me is tedious. As aggressive boot chainery is, fraud. You guppy truck. We shall not be entertained. Semi-weekly bullshit. Dash dash. A moment's new to me. Write it down. Something's bothering me. Write it the fuck down. Dash dash. You nickel-gill, Cuomo, shears alike. Number 50. Wield Lee is unwieldy. Bruh cipher. Pronounced cipher. Dash dash dash. One word poem. Number 51. Not to be bleak in the face of true love. Dash dash dash. But it really maybe is. Close it out or quit. Quitting time. Boring. Forced substitution. Asterisk. And tuition. When need be. For her. Just put it in the back of your brain. Asterisk. And it does work. 2 asterisks. And you know this, Lee, from your distant past. Number 52. Conditioned Netherland. Dash dash dash. Unsurprisedly, having forgotten what came before the memory. So anyways, these thankfully became the last few or several, closer to few, 7-sided pathstones to hop through to infinity. Married to merriment, aun, en, pomp, renown. Only a small few, at first, have the full-hearted gullet to push it past through. Mosquito fogs lamentia from the couple of few IQs into an observation holding back all the others because you feel stupefied by the still others. Most humans inclinate tam grandiosity, belle beauty. Dash dash. My hour, magical cavern, waiting, just on the bend, hint, int, and... Number 53. No need to quell. See, quelling is simple when you're reborn into the material of the followed-in episode. every fucking time you lay or rest your eyes upon her new clear soul nova buzzies. Dash dash dash. Of it to an of to. She's better than my clever one-liners, or when I get on a syrupy flow that satisfies the setups of embarking to be a full-time artist, which I have now quit done, basically, and she's better than, and at the same time is, Petunia adorned French horn, and the humans all knew, her better than our soul collectively inventions of beyond, throughout ages, yugas, or shkamyantia. She's better. Thou, this starts to sound worse now, maybe not, because it's starting all to break down. Still, she's still just so better. In disregard tens, of course. Yes, I will, of course, sputter for her as Pfeiffer's until, oh, how I love you, my woman better than. Number 54. The end of sides such as beginnings or endings, or the end of Ms. Cetera opens up what beings sometime called heaven. Dash dash dash. Don't expect any kind of a special freedom eyebrow. The 43rd line is always the blessed. Now is the time to attach the impression of this instant to phrase, chemistry set, obscure seafood tinkerling, dash dash, inky melt, melty ink. Covered a figure of the bases by now, I should state an overcharge bright, sand blue eye time ray cargery, frolump, dash dash. It just widgets what its will is when I'm too weak for my own fault to be held by myself like a premature cradlin voyola, dash dash. You can never tell me you can do anything, can't and do, ye scant candle. I'll give you populaces more of those years of loving you. I still do, so still it moves. I still do, so still it moves. I've all written before, oh, I want to sleep in a different world. Number 55. Human being, arrogance, and judgeism aside, the level beyond level of the beyond post-reprise of losing cohesion, denouement, peroration, envoy, postlude, intertwined principle spark, dead positive sanctity, progression, and completion at the same time. Annoying and stupefyingly reductive, for lack of a better illustration of the essence of the full scope of my meaning, specifically right there, features of human judgety fucking aside. Dash dash dash. Unnecessary beckoning for, believe it or not, the beckoning existing on subtle ways, that is, super specific clarity. Some throwback happening. That's all he had to say about it. I said, dash dash. It will go on further, past the binding of this audiobook's anometry, but in the final format, and in the last. Dash dash. Violet stessura, Viona divieratisi, Vion, dash dash. I never knew sapphire was such a blue through the beautiful sound of purple. Slucken glass, dash dash. but we meant I have understood tendril for long before I met her. Her, the most formidable enemy of all, that ruins and fuels us with shame, as I tried to smoke the pain to its bed of hot ash, as it is always fighting sleep. 68.9 drills. Cow. Dash dash. Lost. Dash dash. Time is just dying. The house of your own form of wine is immortalizing. Regardless, see. Dash dash. The beauty of what is coming and of what it is really is intangible, unspeakable. To the knowing I speak, old friends. Dash dash. So that's it. So very much love, and so very much more love coming and being. I appreciate all that you are, that I love. So much love. Part 2. The stories behind the stories. Spoiler alert. Dash dash dash. So, the following segment speaks in depth about all of my completed works and some of my future works. So, it goes with saying that there are spoilers in the following segment, virtually everywhere. 1. Sun Coffee Waiver, 1996 to 06, dash dash dash, 1 dash dash. When I was 12 years old, or thereabouts, in middle school, I began meddling with co-creating art. This was in my spare time, and always during school hours, in the middle school house, in 1993. I always threw away what I made, and this throwing away rightfully continued until 1996, I do believe. At the very beginning of it, my art was an idea, and I have no idea why that idea appeared, to create different types of fonts for the English alphabet with a black ballpoint pen. Perhaps I latched onto that idea because it was a very easy approach for an utter beginner. Anyways, I did this off and on for a while, and eventually created a few awful doodlings of faces with crazy monster teeth and knives and stuff. 2 dash dash. So around 1996 it was that I began my then untitled massive collection of black and colored ballpoint pen sketches / portraits. The earlier pieces worth saving, most of them were not, were drawn on notebook paper, lines and all. I preferred college ruled. Sometime between the years of 2000 and 2002, roughly, I wound up possessing a legitimate sketchbook, binding and all. I retained my older pieces in a red binder and all. The first 2 sketchbooks were good enough to barely justify their own existence. I ripped out 60% to 78% of the aggregate upon dunning them. One piece was phenomenal, and so I put it up on my basement wall. And my father threw it away because he associated the horns animal beings, like from a fucking forest have, with evil demon people. Yet he did not hunt deer at the time or elk. It was the first awesome creation I had ever participated in making, and it was done in all black ballpoint ink. 3 dash dash. In mid-2002, I began uncovering much more of my potential as a sketcher. With my first string of full-page pieces, I started to see a language in the abstract. Asian-looking it was. I became obsessed with detail to a level beyond sand. in my always surreal and abstract to this day pieces. I bought one larger sketchbook and would sometimes spend over a week on just one piece. Dimensions, symbols, and Escher type stuff also fascinated me. I went to the Dali Museum on some weak acid with strong friends. 4 Through the course of time, verily, I eventually conjured 500 plus pieces. Some of them were an arcana of tarot cards that I placed in my Spiral Trilogy books, among other things. All of my books before 11-page stories had illustrations from Sun Coffee Waver. This collection is very likely gone forever. So anyways, whatever. Not like I haven't dwelled on that shit before. 2. Sapphire and Tendril, 1996 to 06, -- 1 -- Around 2 years after starting to sketch, I began fucking around with poetry and occasional rants, which are often the same thing, actually. So this was about 1994, 1995. Always in class I did this, and always to the refuse trash bucket would they go, at my own hands, no less. I was fascinated by the imagery of Stars of David and swastikas, and their interrelation as an example of the fundamental nature of evil, especially the spending swastika and the struck Star of David. I was fascinated, being someone who despised and is still and always shall be fully against anti-Semitism. So I had written a rant, I believe, and various images around it that could be easily misconstrued if you didn't know where I was coming from, whilst the middle school teacher evidently had nothing better to do than root around in the garbage can that I had crumpled up and threw away the poem in. Later, I got in trouble. Pretty noteworthy, right? In 1996, I began my Dairy Queen career, and along with it, started getting serious for the first time about the struggle to create a poem that had the best qualities possible. It's something that I only quit having to struggle with in late 2019. I was especially into coming up with the most phenomenal phrases and sequences, etc., that are made up of individual words with the coolest and most eloquent and interesting qualities. That was my original pull, I suppose, and goal, or driving force, and or getting my negative emotions out. I wrote heavily, all poetry, other than creative writing school assignments, for several years. The result was a few hundred pieces, at least, that I kept. I slowed down after Dairy Queen, which was where I wrote, but still kept the hobby up. My output ebbed and flowed until 2006, sometimes with years of barely writing at all. 2 -- The result of all this was a collection of poetry nearing 500 pieces. I transcribed them and kept them in a red binder for a very long time. This collection is very likely gone forever. So anyways, blah 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 blah. 3. Spiral Trinity, 2008 to 2009. -- 1 -- A fair time after I went through a divorce, hopefully the only divorce I will ever have, I picked up creative pursuits again, but this time with an uninterfered passion. I wrote a ton of songs/poems that eventually became the heart of the first book of a Spiral Trilogy. Spiral Trinity. 2 -- The preface to Spiral Trinity is from one of my last visitations with my son Jonah, before his mother prevented him from seeing me for no reason for the entirety of his childhood, which will be over in 2022. I remember it well, even after all these years. I'm sure his mom is quite ethical, right? Sure. Anyways, on an unrelated note, fuck abusive mothers. 3 -- The essays came after the book had formed itself, and were largely a vehicle for me to express some metaphysical concepts I was worried I would lose otherwise. 4. Spiral Affinity, 2009 1 Here's where the first short story I've ever written popped up, or at least I thought it was only that when I composed it. 2 The streaming consciousness piece that assembles itself as the second chapter was written in Boulder, Colorado, when I had stumbled upon some pharmaceuticals and came up with the brave notion to expel all their effects through a word processor, like I'm sure so many of those before me have. 3 This is also where my first travel journal is housed, albeit only a 5-page deal. I was traveling with a yogurt-throwing jerk. 5. Spiral Unity, 2009 to 10-ish, --1 --. I think all of the Spiral books, much like much of my poetry to this day, are misunderstood as perhaps being simpler than they are. They actually spiral open with repetition and are smarter than myself. But so is reality, so whatever. 2 Spiral Unity was stolen 50% through writing it, and has the most epic poetry in it I have ever seen, by far, like the piece about the essence of goddess/god relationship, before the pieces that were better than that piece, etc., etc. It was on a level beyond this place, to say less than the least. 3 To attempt to replace it, I have come up with a small album worth of covers and some originals entitled Spiral Unity. It is available on YouTube. 6. Travel Around Heart, 2012 to 15 1 The second edition of this book is on its way, sometime in early mid-2020. It will see no changes to the original body of text, ever, but 100 or so pages that are handwritten will finally be transcribed, and there will be several editions. So in a sense, it's really the true first edition. You could say this novel was actually written from 2012 to 2020. 2 This book covers all of the extremely extensive and often bizarre travels in my life. 3 I wrote the middle of it first, when I was locked away in a psych ward/prison type place with violent people, and forced to take strong destructive drugs, all just because I was very sad, for many valid reasons, and therefore simply peacefully suicidal. 4 I see the culmination of all my travels as meeting the love of my life in Nam, literally. 5 This was the most difficult and compromised thing I ever wrote. It nearly killed me. 7. Passing Afterthoughts, 2015 to 16 1 I wound up in Port St. Lucie. Yet another failed band that some male figure asked me to entertain, and then abruptly did everything to not be understanding of my lyrics/what I was bringing to the table. I would be more negative, but it's poetry, already is. 2 You can't have just one section here, folks. I mean, come on, why else would I number it? 2 or more is what justifies a numbering scheme. 3 8. Go at the Fjelt, 2015 to 17 1 After Travel Around Heart was almost totally unreceived, and after Montego Bay, I patoised over to the go at it until it is felt/filled concept, Ultimately, this led to the present point when I realize nothing is ever enough, but I know how to stay in line with that concurrent, coupled with the fact that certain things were gotten across that needed to be with Goethe felt. 2 dash dash. Other than the 2 mirror pieces I'm setting out on this year, which shall have no end, and which shall be worked on oh so very slowly, I feel Goethe felt is definitely the motherfucking best thing I've ever done in terms of creative shit. 9. Inkstorm Rumble, 2016 to 2021-ish. Dash dash dash. 1 dash dash. Years later, after losing my first countless 500 plus sketches, I picked back up to sketching and collecting the sketching. Now I have over 100 new ones. I have progressed, of course. The rest of what I would say is likely obvious. 10. 11-page stories, 2017 to 2019. Dash dash dash. 1 dash dash. Look, I love you. But there's no way I'm explaining those goddamn fucking hamsters. 2 dash dash. Sigh was written as an outlet to exactly how I had been living and was feeling at the time. Phasing of said turned out well for many reasons, I think. 3 dash dash. Living in the marrow genocide. That it would be utopia. 4 dash dash. With Lacey, I wanted to create an adventure story led by a tank girl sort of lead character. This piece slowly grew on me, and it will finally crystallize when I listen to it posted on YouTube. No commercial intended. 5 dash dash. Vigorous Indigenous started as a thought about what would happen if 1492 happened with compassion, instead of the pigliness genocide that was. That thought sparked a tunnel backwards and a thorough historical revamp, which can be witnessed estorially. 6. Victory was when 11-page stories finally clicked. It was a victory of sorts. And it was the last significant, intense creative point for me before I went to Nam for the first time. I like how much plot I managed to pack into 11 pages there. 7 dash dash. Prairie the Settler was feedback to the feedback I was given time and again about how character and setting description is so important. I like how nothing really happens in it. 8 dash dash. The second half-ish of Humanual is hands down the best piece in the novel, and some of the best stuff I ever writ. It pretty much is what it claims to be. 9 dash dash. Fairy Tale is the natural follow-up to Rosie, and I like the colorfulness of it. Like so many things I co-create with the muse, it taught me much more than I ever showed with it over time. But such is our the Fae. 10 dash dash. Who's Gonna Pay is definitely the funniest fucking piece I've ever written, man. A part of that must be its formula I stumbled into, I guess. 11 dash dash. A few times into reading Eyes Wander back to myself, I was rather surprised by how well I actually managed to capture the tone or essence of Crimson. Not to be insulting enough to compliment oneself. Heaven forbid we do that. 12 dash dash. Contented was the first piece I came through with when I was finally acquainted with Nam. It was a complex koi pond coffee shop that had its crazy coconut coffee that I first went into it with. It would not have been possible in a country that is not para-fucking-dice, Maine. 13 dash dash. Before Violet Flowers is a title that has something or other to do with the fact that my love is a girl who loves purple and flowers. I bought her some. Anyways, the predicate of the story is a man who is so far gone with sorrow that he has lost all ability to feel anything, least of all sadness. It migrated into a piece about a man dissolving all identity, etc. 14 dash dash. Look, I love you. There's no way I'm explaining the goddamn motherfucking solid gold Velveeta teen rabbit turtle robot fig schists. 11. 55 Songish poems. 2020. Dash dash dash. 1 dash dash. The four circuits do mirror the seasons in Nam fairly well, which was basically unplanned. 2 dash dash. Circuit A is a startup and a lead-in to darkness. 3 dash dash. Circuit B is very dark, angry and mainly sad, like the brilliance of an excessive summer. 4 dash dash. Circuit C is the beauty and the zen of tropical autumn. 5 dash dash is the letdown and massive lead out. This book, 55 Songish poems, is devoted to beautiful Uyen, along with all of my love. This book is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents either are products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual events or locales or persons living or dead is entirely coincidental. Copyright 2020 by Leo Thomas Zupan IV. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or by any means electronic or mechanical, including photocopying, scanning, recording, or by any information storage or retrieval systems, without the written permission of the publisher, except where permitted by law. Forever. 55 Songish Poems was written 50-50 in Nam and America. Composition transpired from a dating of 8/17/19 through that of 1/17/20. 5 months total. Quote, music inflames temperament, end quote. Jim Morrison. List of writing, etc., composed through L.T. Zupan. Sun Coffee Waiver, 1996 to 2006. Completed, yet there remains an extreme likelihood of permanent unreleasedness. Sapphire and Tendril, 1996 to 2006. Completed, yet there remains an extreme likelihood of permanent unreleasedness. Spiral Trinity, 2008 to 2009. Spiral Affinity, 2009. Spiral Unity, 2009 to 10-ish. Permanently unfinished and permanently unreleased. Travel Around Heart, 2012 to 2015. Passing Afterthoughts, 2015 to 2016. Goethe Fjelt, 2015 to 2017. Inkstorm Rumble, 2016 to 2021-ish. Unfinished as of late 2019. 11-page stories, 2017 to 2019. 55 Songish poems, 2020. About the author. Lee lives in Da Nang, Vietnam, and occasionally visits America. He has enjoyed writing for 25 years and has attempted to make a career out of music unsuccessfully, yet has managed to make a hobby out of black and color ballpoint pen ink sketching. Lee is inextricably and unexplainably madly in love with his beautiful Uyan. Really, the only thing he truly hopes for these days is a future together with her, and maybe even the chance to start a little family with her.